Hi guys, welcome back to day 4 of the Divine Feminine Wisdom series. The Divine Feminine who has blessed us today is Rabi'a. So Rabi'a is actually a Muslim saint and a Sufi mystic who was very well known as a prominent Sufi feminine. And she, when she was born, her father had a vision from Muhammad that basically said that that she was favored by God, and that she would help to lead many Muslims back to a righteous path. Now, after her father passed away, she was actually sold into slavery, and every single day that she was a slave, she sat there and prayed that she would just be released so that she could be able to worship Allah and in solitude. And one day when she was praying, her master actually saw her. And she was actually, when she was praying, there was a light presence with her. And from there, he knew that she was a saint, and he let her go. Once she was let go, she went out into the desert and in solitude and just prayed for the rest of her days to Allah. And from her, the message that we get from her is really just a true divine love. And I'm going to read this. So she's actually the queen of saintly women. I am in service of divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. So what we learn from her is really just a true divine love, an unconditional love, where there's absolutely no conditions and there's absolutely no expectations. So it was one of the most purest loves, the love that she had for Allah. So it reminds us as divine feminine of our relationship with God. And if you've been on this ascension journey path, it brings you back to God, and it re-strengthens your connection with God. So she just kind of comes to us today just to remind us of that bond and of that pure unconditional love. And then that is when we are embodying that and when we are vibrating at that frequency, we are true, pure love. So we are not doing anything for ourselves, for our ego. We are working from that heart space. And we are vibrating at the frequency of pure love, of God's pure love. And that from there, that's what God works through. And there's two things in here that that were really powerful to me. One was in her poems, she says, I carry a torch in one hand and a bucket of water in the other. She wants to set fire to heaven and put out the fires of hell, so that love seeks no gain except to be in service of love itself. She says, I do not want to worship from fear of punishment or for the promise of reward, but simply for the love of Allah. And it's just really, like I said, so beautiful. It's such a pure divine love with no intentions, no selfish intentions whatsoever. And the last thing it says, and ourselves, we remember what Rabi'a knew so well, that to love just for the sake of loving lets the divine act through us. So that's the message for today. I know the divine feminines, we've all been surrendering to the divine and purifying our body so that he can embody us more and be able to work through us. And Rabi'a is here with us today just to remind us of that pure unconditional love. So sending you guys so much love. Bye.